Alright, we are on our way. Game number 3. Alright, we are on match number 3 of the 8th New Players Tournament. I'm Philothanic. Joining me for some additional commentary is NC Game Wizard, and I should point out that Polina is organizing and producing this tournament and doing a great job finding subs behind the scenes. So big shout out to her. And in this match, we do have Kiwai Tudai, or just Kiwai, Cordeus, Dryad, and Base Invader, and this is kind of an ugly looking map.
I was just about to say, I wish you had asked me about this map and not the last one, because this one actually you have things to say. You can see pretty much the right half of it is not usable.
An expansive HQ has been founded.
Dryad going very early.
Yeah, not really in love with where Dryad decided to found as an expansive. Would have liked to have seen a scientist there. Scientists can use that ice directly for their buildings as the resource underneath it. They just pull the water out of the ice. That could be really useful.
Base Invaders found doesn't really make use of the Nomad's ability to have 2 HQs because it's really close next to each other.
It's still the best spot on the map.
Yeah. It's a great screw you found.
Yeah. It's that's pretty much what you would want to do if you're going to go for the Nomad found. You can see electronics finally not at 200 a unit.
A decent scavenger spot over here.
Yes.
The question is, can we find anything for Kiwai to found as? I'm thinking probably expansive up near the top right where that iron and water is.
Yeah.
HQ has been upgraded.
You could. There's not. The problem is there's where you could found and whether or not you could ever justify it. And I think we're seeing that with 2 Kawaii to die here.
Yeah, this found, I mean, okay, they can hit that upgrade button immediately because they've waited so long, but where are they going to get their iron?
The black market.
I was thinking
way
that a robot over where 2 Kawaii to die just claimed their iron, so really now I'm going to go so far as to say this is a mistake and there was no real reason they shouldn't have found it on this side of the map instead of that side of the map. Yeah.
Straight to the left of Dryad. Scavenger.
Yeah, that would work great.
Other than high and a medium, maybe not great, but out of your limited options,
yes,
that are available. So yeah, I think those two would have been better. Scavenger over here, or an expansive closer to where the iron. The reason why I'm choosing expansive over robot is because of expansive shipping bonus. Because they pay less fuel, and you're going to need to do a lot of shipping.
Ultimately, what it comes down to is how you feel about collapsing the price of power if you're going to be a robot, which is what we're looking at here. I don't think 2 Kawaii can actually do anything with the price of power with the spot that they have chosen.
No, I mean, I know. These are new players, so we are being a little bit tough on them because, let's be honest, when it looks like there's no spots to found, you can panic a little, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's very, very easy, very understandable. But that happens. You just need to take a deep breath, search around the map a little bit.
So I'd like to talk for a sec about what Cord is doing here. Cordaris, besides the fact that he decided to black magic one of his electrolysis reactors, and
the electrolysis reactor, yeah.
I've been watching. And they actually put down a single farm and an electrolysis reactor, then switched it out to a farm, but decided, no, we do still want one single electrolysis reactor. We just don't want it in the middle. And it's good that the farms are next to one another. He doesn't have water. And that's the real issue, is these prices are good, but they're not necessarily so good that they're catapulting you to the next HQ level. And when you are in a situation where you don't have a base resource, you're just buying it, you're on borrowed time.
Yeah, that last electrolysis reactor should have been one of these low.
Even an aluminum mine would be better.
And then we do also have nukes.
Yeah.
We didn't mention this, but see, this is where Dryad's found actually is going to be decent. You can't nuke out Dryad's water.
And it'd be difficult to nuke out the iron. Yeah,
it's really hard to nuke out the iron, so 2 Kawaii to die. If their iron gets nuked, why did they go into 2 iron all the way across the map?
Well, because, I mean, now their iron gets nuked, they've got a backup.
Yeah, but they're gonna be under
An expansive
so
HQ has
much,
been upgraded.
you know,
This is a company that's
so much
about
shipping.
forward thinking. And we think the iron is moving forward towards our HQ.
So Base Invader definitely has had the best founding. You said that when they founded. They're already in HQ4. The Expansive's in HQ3, which is fine because running a little bit behind a Nomad as an Expansive is normal. The Cordarius should be keeping up in HQ upgrades with the Nomad, but like you pointed out, they don't have the water, so they're not making the money there.
Base Invader left themselves open to literally the oldest trick in the book. They teach you it in the tutorial, and that is take the Geo with the mutiny. That said, does have the money to mutiny it right back.
You're cutting out more often now for Discord. You might need to bump that voice sensitivity up so it picks up.
We're at
more of you.
100%. Oh no. There's a storm going on. I'm gonna blame the storm.
Well, now we may have lost you completely.
Hello, hello.
Hopefully not.
Okay,
Anyway,
there's
okay,
a
there you
storm
are.
going on, and I'm gonna blame the storm because we are actually at 100% on the mic.
Well, not the volume input, the sensitivity. Where is it?
Is that a thing? We're learning about Discord as we learn
New
about
land
off-world
is
people.
available for auction.
The turn off the automatically determined input sensitivity and just bump that farther up under
Oh,
voice settings.
I didn't even know that was a thing. How's that sound?
So, where are we back in this game? Cordarius is still going to struggle to upgrade. Well, they do finally have all they need. So all they need is 0.8K aluminum. And they do have a unnuked high aluminum mine that's shipping in. So this one shipment's going to come in. They're going to hit that upgrade button to HQ3. They're going to go to water, hopefully.
A scavenger HQ has been upgraded.
Dryad.
There's the upgrade. Next is the water.
Dryad decided to go into 2 medium
do it.
silicon,
And then some power.
and I
There you
think
go.
that's
2 water, 2 power. Right up here on the cliff. Right north of your company.
that's just too much silicon, even for an
Dryad
expansive.
struggling in Sea Dead over here just a little bit. And if you're still around in NC Game Wizard, I can't. Period. By the way.
Yeah, I'm catching on to that. Hold on.
Maybe the storm got him.
Testing,
Two
testing.
Cry to
Can
die
you hear me
already
now?
in lead, and that's unfortunately because of all the shipping of negative
Damn, we are not actually coming through.
929,000
The patent lab
going
is
to be 900
constructed.
Hello, hello.
Let's get our
per second and
science on.
all of shipping. This is absolutely ridiculous, unfortunately, for 2 Kwai, and that's pretty much going to be the end of them in this game. So it's
Testing,
really
testing.
between Base Invader and Dryad.
Hmm.
And Dryad needs another 10K to upgrade.
The
They
black
do
market
People, I'm
have
assuming you
19K,
can
so
still
I'm not
hear
entirely
me.
sure why they haven't upgraded just yet. They're rotating maybe a little bit too much. Meanwhile, Base Invader doing very well for financial instruments. The one thing about financial
Hello,
instruments in
hello?
this case is
Testing,
when,
testing.
sure, you're going to make a lot of money off of financial instruments, but
Hello, hello? Okay.
right?
We've tried
So-
connecting and disconnecting.
Honestly, I'm not looking at 2 Kwai to die. I'm looking at Dryad.
Hello, hello?
Dryad,
Hello?
instead of upgrading,
Oh, wow.
here's what you do if you're Base Invader. Hit that buy button to buy a share of you to 3. Start buying in a Dryad.
A
Once you get up to
robotics HQ
5 or
has been
whatever, you sell that
upgraded.
1 share because you'll gain money off of that exercise. And then you just take out Dryad, who just now can defend themselves, but
Twitch
30
people,
seconds ago
I'm
didn't
assuming you
have the
can still
cash
hear me.
income to do that.
And Philothanic is right.
Alternatively, you could just buy 2 Kwai to die simply for the stock boost.
New building is available for auction.
Testing, testing. No, this is not working at all. So just looking at this, it's pretty obvious Base Invader is going to win. There's not really much in the way of commentary to say here. He's actually got the money he needs to win right now.
One. Fortunately, no storms in my area, so I should be here to finish up the cast. But yeah, it does look like it's going to be Base Invader for the win. Base Invader going for Thinking Machines, going for these long-term advantages that are honestly might not be necessary. I'm not sure what Triad's doing sitting over here on HQ3 for so long, because they have 60k in cash right now. They could have upgraded HQ4 so long ago, which definitely would have been the better thing. They're not going to upgrade. Base Invader is going to purchase into them. They do have enough to defend themselves, just barely. They did have enough, but now they're building buildings instead for Dryad. So Base Invader is going to get this majority buy here and take out Dryad from the game. And then it's going to be Base Invader versus Cordarius with 2 Kwai to die. Unfortunately, not 2 Kwai. Kawaii?
Kawaii.
Maybe it's Kawaii.
Kawaii.
Not Kawaii to die anyway. They're unfortunately going to go into D+14 debt from all this shipping. They're still losing, well, they're not losing 1,000 anymore, just 400, but they do have $382,000 in debt.
Yes, Dryad.
They won't quite get to that $1 stock price, but this is where Cordarius should have bought into Hawaii. And maybe they could finagle themselves a way to get back into this game. But as it stands right now, Base Invader is just going to
Our methods continue to improve.
2 subsidiaries, 1 fully bought, got those extra shares, and now they're just going to go straight into Cordarius. They will need a good $326,000, but they have plenty of patents. They got some optimizations going on. They have 6 claims that they should put down. They should have more farms. I mean, they're doing this and they don't even have all their claims out. That's pretty ridiculous. More farms. Glass. Look at that price on glass. Glass would be great to go into right now, given all the supply of silicon. Especially now that your opponent's already upgraded to 85. Teleportation doesn't matter whatsoever. I wouldn't care about this if I was Base Invader in the least. Just let it go for 32,000 or let it go for 40 for sure. Don't bid it up anymore. Because that will just add more debt to Cordarius and make it that much easier to purchase them right all the way down into D debt.
Optimization routine successful.
By the way, I don't know if there's even a chance. No.
The black market is open for business.
Yeah, I see that. I see that, Philo, that you cannot hear me. Turn back on automatic.
Alright, well, NC Game Wizard can hear me, but I can't hear them. It doesn't look like Discord's picking up them speaking.
Pretty much.
That being said, we do have Base Invader coming up in probably going to win this game. They have finally put down that glass that I talked about, so that's good. These life support's going really high. You can look at all the life support that they're making.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Unfortunately for Cordarius, Base Invader got 2 easy purchases, and it's really, really hard to come back when you get 2 easy purchases like that as a 3rd player. The 4th player in this situation, 3rd party. Base Invader using decent amounts. Well, okay, fine. I was gonna say they were using the black market decent.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. So some reason talking was not coming up, but I'm back, and yeah, Base Invader's winning. You've done a really good job commentating on this, Philo.
Yeah, I've practiced doing entire tournaments by them myself. They're not fun.
Our methods
Your
continue
voice
to
is kind of
improve.
hoarse at the end. But yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely sure what happened to Dryad, to be honest. I don't know why they were sitting in HQ3 for so long.
I'm trying to get the settings back to what they used to be, and no.
But unfortunately, that meant they got picked up early, because their Dryad was able to upgrade faster. Sure, they're shipping really far from the silicon, but maybe they could have gone for like a vacation play or something like that. They're probably overcommitted into silicon a little bit. They're facing against the Nomad. But Base Invader is going to pick up a really early Soul 6 950 win.
I
And,
missed half the tournament, but I do feel decently comfortable in saying that Dryad's biggest problem was not making use of those boosts effectively, just because they're only at 3,000, so it's pretty much possible anyone made use of them effectively.
Well, no one made. So this is one of the things that happens a lot into a new players tournament is that people just don't use new players just don't use the black market enough. I mean, it's kind of hard to use the black market when you're dead, so I will give everyone that, or when you're in DDET like
Testing,
Hawaii
testing.
was. But it's just like so. One of those things is you always got to have like black markets online,
Yes.
and you can buy something, and you don't know who to hit. Just buy something that's cheap, and just hold on to it until there's somebody worth hitting. Right? You could have like a pirate stockpile, an EMP stockpile, an adrenaline boost stockpile, a nuke stockpiled, a mutiny stockpiled, etc.
And indeed, if you wait for the cooldown to finish, it's almost like you've got two of those things. And that's going to be very useful for getting through goon squads.
Right. Right. Well, this was a pretty straightforward win for Base Invader. They got the best found second, which is always a great thing to have happen to you. Dryad took the second, probably the second best found, or maybe third, depending what you think of Cordarius's spot. If Cordarius got to water faster, I think Cordarius' spot would have been better than Dryad's, but they took that first, so that's unfortunately a big reason why they lost the game. And you can't. It's one of those things in off-road. You can't win the game on found, but you can certainly lose a game.
So looking at it, one thing that I was mentioning just before we figured out the massive audio issues were happening is Dryad was taking two medium silicons that were on basically the opposite end of the map from them.
Right.
And that was a huge issue, not only because of the fact that they didn't really need the silicon, like they could have manufactured what they needed because of the fact that there's nomads around for the most part, but also because of the shipping costs and the distance.
Right. Silicon never got that high in price, I don't think. No, it was pretty low right until the very end. So you could have purchased that off the market. If you were going to do that, they should have gone for one, not two, because they did pay $74,000 in debt just on fuel costs alone, even with the expansive 1/3 less fuel cost bonus.
Yeah.
So yeah, going into that was a little bit too much. Now I think the reason for that was because they found it as a glass faction
Yes.
in a glass colony, so that drove the price of glass up.
For some reason, it's no longer able to automatically detect my voice.
But that was a relatively straightforward win for Base Invader, so kudos to them for noticing the best spot and picking it up at a great price. And then they played pretty much everything after that correctly.
Yeah, definitely. Depriving your opponent is something that's a little hard to do with the Nomad because of the fact that you do get two HQs, but they're kind of small. But this is one of the perfect test cases for
And
how
you
you
lost
would
your
do
game.
it. Darn.
We got depriving your opponent is hard.
Because Nomad HQ is kind of small, but this would be the perfect test case for being successful at it because it's a spot where there's really only two good spots and they're kind of close to each other, but not close enough that you could crush them with any one HQ.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it was very well played. Well
Yes.
played, straightforward. Looks like some of our other games are still going, so if you want to watch more Off-World, you can go to Blue's channel and